Today we're at Indiana's oldest zoological park. Opening in 1921, I consider the Potawatomi Zoo to be somewhat of a lesser known gem. For a smaller park, just 23 acres, there is a surprising amount of rare, lesser known animals to be seen here, including at least one species that I have not seen at any other zoo. I filmed 2 tours on my visit of the zoo's 2 largest sections, so together they will cover about 80% of the zoo. As you saw, we'll be starting with Africa, where we'll see animals of the savanna, forest, and even deserts. This area of the zoo consists of 12 exhibits, including 1 brand new habitat and another that will be coming soon. Beginning just past a family of majestic Sichuan toucans, with what is now the 2nd newest major addition to Africa, Masamba, the southern white rhinoceros. Masamba arrived from the San Diego Zoo Safari Park in the fall of 2019. The white rhino is the largest of the 5 species of rhino, and the only one that usually lives in herds. However, male white rhinos still often live alone, so Masamba does just fine on his own. So, while he won't be breeding, the zoo is still helping with the white rhino species survival plan. By housing a lone male, it frees up space for other zoos to continue breeding with their rhinos. Next door is a mysterious creature of the African rainforest, the Okapi, one of the animal kingdom's most unique designs. The stripes on an okapi's hind legs are thought to help youngsters follow their mothers through the dense forest. Because of their shy and elusive nature, little is known about wild okapis compared to most other large mammals. In fact, they were completely unknown to the world outside of Africa until the year 1901. The Potawatomi Zoo has 2 males, Will and Corky, who moved here from the Brookfield Zoo in Chicago in 2017. Like Masamba, their move was orchestrated to give Brookfield the space they need to continue breeding with their okapis. Because both of these habitats were originally Asian themed, to reach the rest of the African exhibits we must first take a short stroll through the zoo farm, where you can get up close to a variety of domestic animals. Our next stop is the Old World monkeys. Well, in this case, just one species of Old World monkey, the eastern black and white Colobus. In one of my previous tours, I mentioned that spider monkeys have 4 fingers and no thumb on their hands. Well, that's true for Colobus monkeys as well. In fact, the word Colobus means mutilated one in reference to their missing thumbs. Directly across from the first viewing area are 2 much smaller habitats. In the first one, I was able to get up close with one of their Fennec Foxes. Not only the smallest fox, but also the world's smallest canid. They usually weigh only 2 or 3 pounds. The one thing that is big about them is their ears, which are used to help radiate heat and keep them cool in the deserts of North Africa. Next to them, I was able to have another up-close encounter, this time with a Trumpeter Hornbill. During the breeding season, the female will actually seal herself inside the nest using mud, leaving only a small hole through which the male can feed her. Straight ahead is a look into the Okapi's indoor holding, where you may be able to get a glimpse of them if they're not outside. A short ways down the path is a second window looking into the Colobus exhibit. and across from that is a habitat for a newly arrived African serval, who unfortunately I did not see. The next habitat was the former home for the zoo's African lions. While the exhibit is very long, it is not the best modern home for the often proclaimed king of beasts. The zoo recognized this, so after the passing of their last elderly lion, this exhibit is currently awaiting new residents. However, lions will be returning to the zoo soon, and we'll take a short look at those plans in a few minutes. Situated up on a hillside is a more standard caged habitat home to a pair of playful Diana monkeys. Native to the forest of West Africa, the Diana monkey gets its name from the white brow on their forehead, which resembles the crescent on the brow of the Roman deity of the same name. They live in groups of 15 to 30 individuals and communicate using a variety of facial expressions and calls, which includes distinct calls to identify different predators. In 2019, the Diana monkey was categorized as endangered as a result of deforestation and hunting. We're now beginning our journey along the African River. Rotating between these two habitats are Grant zebras, the smallest subspecies and the most common zebra in zoos. And the greater kudu. This very impressive species is known to have the largest horns of any antelope, with the male's spiraled horns reaching lengths of up to 6 feet. They can also make a kind of bark, which is the loudest sound produced by any antelope species. The greater kudu can be found in a variety of habitats, including woodlands and even mountains. As you can see, the zoo's individuals are both males, brothers Abraxas and Tumani. The river that flows at the front of these habitats is filled with carp, so if you're lucky, you may spot an expert fisherman. Despite waiting around for about 20 minutes, I did not witness any catches on this visit, but on one of my previous visits, I captured this. Across the pathway was once a home for chimpanzees. In 2020, the last 2 chimps moved to another zoo. It was briefly home to howler monkeys and will now be converted for a new pride of African lions. The new habitat will feature tall glass viewing, allowing guests to get nose-to-nose with arguably Africa's most iconic species. The current timeline indicates that this exhibit will be completed in the summer of 2023. Back along the river, look for the African painted dog. Also known as the African wild dog or African hunting dog, this very social canine lives in packs led by an alpha male and female pair. They are one of Africa's most successful hunters, with a successful kill rate of between 60 and 80%, depending on the source that you look at. As the river comes to an end, what was once warthogs is now red river hogs. A male named Rocket and 2 females named Ella and Peanut Butter arrived at the zoo in the spring of this year. It's obvious where they get the red part of their name, but what about the river part? Well, these hogs prefer to live in swampy areas near water and are known to be good swimmers. And now for today's grand finale. This large, mostly open yard is the newest big thing at the Potawatomi Zoo. Construction began in the fall of 2020, combining the kudu's former home with the zoo's walk-through Australian yard, and converting them into this excellently landscaped savanna, which can be viewed all around from the ground level as well as from an elevated platform, giving a spectacular view overlooking the entire habitat. So who exactly lives in this seemingly deserted exhibit? Well, the new arrivals were still a little shy, and not on this try. But eventually one of their Masai giraffes did venture out into the habitat. 4 males, Maximus, Wyatt, Seymour, and Kellen, came to the zoo in January of 2022. The zoo has stated that they may eventually be joined by zebras, antelope, African birds, and more giraffes, as the zoo hopes to one day have a breeding herd. And if you don't see them outside or happen to visit during colder weather, you can always see them inside the Giraffe Conservation Center. And this is where we conclude our journey through Africa at the Potawatomi Zoo. We'll pick up here next time we visit the zoo to meet unique creatures of the New World as we tour the Americas. Thank you for watching, and here's a quick preview of the next tour.